I'm Iron Man, but you already knew that.
What is up, you guys? This is All Day Any Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you a build breakdown for Iron Man. So let's go ahead and take a look at his traits. So it says energy and intelligence are his two main attributes. His base damage, you gain 3% of your max suit power, or 3% extra damage based off of your max suit power. So my current bonus is at 23.5%. Adaptive, my bad. Adaptive armor, you are able to see that, which is in the middle. You are able to see enemies on the minimap. Health gain, 210 health per second. This effect is tripled for 4 seconds when you fall below 35% of your max health once every 10 seconds. Defense and deflect are his two main defensive stats. He gains a 20% multiplier to both and a plus 600 base. Close quarters, when you hit with a melee power, you gain 8% damage reduction for 3 seconds. And then his primary resource is his suit power. Suit power regenerates at a rate of 32 per second when it's not being spent on powers. So now on to his abilities. I'm using micro missiles on triangle, unibeam on square, repulsor barrage on X, satellite strike on circle, his signature, the one off, on L2 triangle, hyper velocity charge on L2 circle, coolant blast on L2X, and repulsor spray on L2 square. My talents, I went with unstable core. When you hit an enemy, trigger a minor arc reactor overload, restoring 20% of your maximum suit power, 5-second cooldown. This effect only occurs if you have less than 80% suit power. Extremist healing nanites, health gain 350 per second, max suit power minus 50, arc reactor overload applies rapid healing to all allies, buff effects rapid healing, health gain 20% of max health per second, 3-second duration. Upgrade orbital interface, Jericho bombardment and transforms into satellite strike. Satellite strike deals energy damage instead of physical, always critically hits, and occasionally fires a targeted strike when you deal damage to enemies. Targeted strike damage 1752 to 2628. Upgrade micro lasers, channeled repulsors transforms into micro lasers. Micro lasers deal more damage, has a cooldown, and can only be channeled for a short duration. The one-off cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds. Upgrade repulsors, unibeam deals more damage, has a cooldown, fires instantly against the execute damage bonus effect, and hits in a much wider area. Also gains a plus 10% to energy power damage. So the other talent I would have went with instead of upgrade repulsors would have been upgrade arc reactor, mainly because I know not a lot of people will have a ton of max suit power. So some of you might want to really focus on getting as much suit power as possible, because that's what this build is basically built around, is his having a bunch of suit power. So you can switch upgrade repulsors for this if you do need more. Also, if you have to, you can use your arc reactor overload. If you have the arc reactor overload on your loadout, unstable core won't work. So if you do have arc reactor overload on, then I would switch it out either with overclocking or missile targeting. Probably missile targeting, because that applies more damage. So, and then everything else I would keep the way it is. So my synergies, I have Beast, Captain Marvel, Daredevil, Deadpool, Gambit, Hawkeye, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Squirrel Girl, and War Machine. Then my infinity points, I put all of my points into Deep Thought so I can have as much suit power as possible. If you don't have the points for it, I would still just put as much points as you can into Deep Thought, because like I said, you want to build around suit power. You want to have as much suit power as possible. I didn't put any points into anything else. I didn't even put it into any of my attributes, which is the first. So yeah, suit power is what I went with for that. And now for his what's it called, inventory. I have cosmic. I have one green item, cosmic, green item, cosmic, and then a unique, the Maxwell Jordan's Lost Ringstone, which you get from the relic vendor. You have a 1 in 3 chance of getting it. And then I'm using Ziggurat of Kargul, the 9 heads, and Black Tom Shillelagh. So Black Tom Shillelagh, you get this from Juggernaut. It gives you health, deflect, damage rating, and damage rating to energy powers and energy. And then the 9 heads, you get this from the shield box. It gives you intelligence and energy. Ziggurat of Kargul, I don't remember where you can get this. I think you can only get this, I'm pretty sure you can get this anywhere else, but I feel like, actually no, I think you can only get this in the shield box as well now that I think about it. But crit damage, crit hit, and brutal strike rating. Now, if you don't have a Ziggurat of Kargul or the 9 heads, then I would definitely pick up the Cyber Link implant or something implant. Black Widow has one. Cybernetic implant. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, cybernetic implant. I would definitely get one for Iron Man, especially if you're trying to build up on more suit power. If you want more suit power, then that would definitely be something you would want to invest in getting. My relic, I'm using Complete Relic of Gibran. Gives me more suit power, +1 all attributes. I'm using a Heroic Catalyst. Obviously not good, but it gives me suit power, health regen. We use a movement power, you gain 30% movement speed for 10 seconds, 4-second cooldown. Crossbones Medallion, when you hit with an explosive power, your next explosive power gains 526 damage rating. And then my legendary item, I'm using Macron Crystal because it gives me that +200 suit power, 3000 health, 600 damage rating, 1500 crit hit rating, and 5% chance on hit to eliminate all enemies to the white hot room 1 minute cooldown. So you can either use this one or the Cosmic Control Rod. Those two are the ones I was having a hard time choosing between, but I just stuck with Macron Crystal because you can get the suit power early on. Plus you can. This is a really nice, balanced general legendary item because it gives you a lot of health. It gives you a good amount of damage rating. It gives you a good chunk of crit hit rating as well. So my stats: 29,760 average effective health, 33% damage reduction, 0% attack speed, 366 crit hit rating, 2784 crit damage, 395 brutal strike rating, 414 brutal damage rating, 3000 damage rating, and 136% base damage. Oh, also for my artifacts, the modifications that I put on it were the efficiency modifications, which give 209 health, 200 damage rating, and 4% suit power cost reduction. Now onto what the abilities look like. So this is X. It hits multiple targets, or two extra targets. And then this is square, the unibeam. And then this is triangle.
Sorry, not happening.
And then this is circle. This one hits auto crits as well because of the talent it has. And then this is the freeze ability on L2X. And then this is the repulsor on L2 square. It doesn't do too much damage, but it's nice to push the enemies away with it. And I'm pretty sure this also cancels like Mandarin and Red Skull from using their ability. Only thing that sucks about it is you have to be somewhat close up to the enemy, and then you have your signature.
That one's kind of a one-off.
So the way I use my build, the rotation, I suppose, I use the unibeam. I mean, not unibeam. I use the whatever that's called, circle. Then I use unibeam, and then I start spamming this, go around, push them, freeze them, and then I use my signature as much as I can because it's only a 15-second cooldown. So really, I just try to spam as much as I can. Don't keep spamming circle because it has no cooldown. Only time you would use it again is obviously when it ends, or if the enemy moves out the way from it. And that's really it for Iron Man's build breakdown that I went with. Like I said, you have to really stack up on a lot of suit power if you really want to make this build work, because he has nothing that will regenerate his suit power except for his passive, his talent, which regenerates 20% of his suit power when he's under 80%. So you'll generally have a bunch of suit power left over. And yeah, so that's basically it. If this build helped you out at all, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any other artifacts in mind that you think would help Iron Man, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section, what it is and what it does and where it's from. If you have any other medallions that might be really good for him, go ahead and put that down as well, of what it does and where you can get it from. And yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, if this helped you out, go ahead and leave a like and comment and subscribe. This is all Danny Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.